So the Holy One to be born will be called the Son of God.
Words of the prophet, angels sing and pray. Christ Lord is living, peace to men giving peace. The trumpets are blowing peace. When Christ is bringing wonder, wonder, all and proclaim. Born in a manger, holy virgin birth. Go to all the
The Christ will be born in Bethlehem, from the 5th chapter of Micah, the 2nd verse. But you, Bethlehem Ephrathah, though you are small among the clans of Judah, out of you will come for me one who will be ruler over Israel, whose origins are from of old, from ancient times.
The Magi visit the Messiah. Matthew chapter 2, verses 1 through 6. After Jesus was born in Bethlehem in Judea, during the time of King Herod, Magi from the east came to Jerusalem and asked, "Where is the one who has been born King of the Jews? We saw his star when it rose and have come to worship him." When King Herod heard this, he was disturbed, and all Jerusalem with him. When he had called together all the people's chief priests and teachers of the law, he asked them where the Messiah was to be born. "In Bethlehem, in Judea," they replied, "for this is where the prophets had written. But you, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, are by no means least among the rulers of Judah. For out of you will come a ruler who will shepherd my people Israel."
The year of the Lord's favor, from the 61st chapter of Isaiah, verses 1 through 3. The Spirit of the Sovereign Lord is on me, because the Lord has anointed me to proclaim the good news to the poor. He has sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim freedom for the captives, to release from darkness for the prisoners, to proclaim the year of the Lord's favor and the day of vengeance of our God, to comfort all who mourn, and provide for those who grieve in Zion, to bestow on them a crown of beauty instead of ashes, and oil of joy instead of mourning, and a garment of praise instead of a spirit of despair. They will be called oaks of righteousness, a planting of the Lord for the display of his splendor.
Jesus' Manifesto, Luke chapter 4, verses 14 through 20. Jesus returned to Galilee in the power of the Spirit, and news about him spread through the whole countryside. He was teaching in their synagogues, and everyone praised him. He went to Nazareth, where he had been brought up, and on the Sabbath day he went to the synagogue, as was his custom. He stood up to read, and the scroll of the prophet Isaiah was handed to him. Unrolling it, he found a place where it was written, "The Spirit of the Lord is on me, because he has anointed me to proclaim good news to the poor. He has sent me to proclaim freedom for the prisoners and recovery of sight for the blind, to set the oppressed free, to proclaim the year of the Lord's favor." Then he rolled up the scroll, gave it back to the attendants, and sat down. The eyes of everyone in the synagogue were fastened on him. He began by saying to them, "Today, this scripture is fulfilled in your hearing."
Ding dong merrily on high, in heaven the bells are ringing. Ding dong merrily the sky is ridden with angels singing. Gloria, Hosanna in excelsis. Gloria, Hosanna in excelsis. Pray you dutifully prime your matin chimey ringers. May you dutifully rhyme your eventide song, ye singers. Gloria, Hosanna in excelsis. Gloria, Hosanna in excelsis. Gloria, Hosanna in excelsis.
Bravo!
Phrase to sing to, and it is the close of the Song of the Redeemed that my teacher wrote when she was 14. It's just the end of the oratorio. Even so, come, Lord Jesus.
We All right, there are refreshments over